Hey, how y'all doing? It's your girl, Legette, aka the Core Queen. We are back. Y'all, after a 3-week hiatus. I'm so happy to be back. I missed y'all. I have one of the most amazing comedians I know back on the show from the Married Men's panel, my boy Tyrone Burston.
Come on now. What? That intro got me hyped. Who won it? Huh?
You know what?
Come on, don't get me hyped.
Listen.
Back.
For y'all who do not know who Tyrone is, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit about Tyrone and what he been doing in these streets. Tyrone Burston started his comedy career in 2013. Since then, he has opened for Arsenio Hall, Bruce, Michael Blackson, Affion Crockett, Damon Wayans Jr., and he has toured with one of the original queens of comedy, Adele Givens, just to name a few. He was recognized by the Queen City Awards as Comedian of the Year in 2016 and 2021. He has also performed on Showtime at the Apollo. Y'all, I got my boy here with me. Y'all better let him know Tyrone is in the house.
Let's go. Come on now.
They said call Tyrone. I called his ass.
Yes, you did. And I want to apologize. All them accolades, and I got 19 followers on social media. I can't help you get one more viewer than you already got. I got the skills, I got the talent, but the people, where they at, baby?
Listen, it take time. It just take time. Social media, a different type of place.
You're right.
It's a different animal, and it's not a real place, so it's hard to get fake people to follow real shit.
Oh, I gotta write that down when I get in the car. That was cold as shit.
I'm just saying, they're coming though. Don't worry.
I love that.
They coming. Sure. So, what made you want to be a comedian?
Honestly, comedy. I believe comedy heals. Funny is just the best medicine, man. So, like, true story. What really happened to me in 2013, it was like a tragedy. Tragedy brings out the best in you. You know what I'm saying? So before I started doing comedy, I was actually diagnosed, man, with child support.
You make me so sick. It's unbelievably hot. It's just unbelievable how sick you make me.
So what you not about to do is that like that ain't almost killed me. You hear me? That child support, man, you gotta have
like you had chemo or something because you bald.
You know what's crazy? I'm mad at you for looking at me like he about to say leukemia. What are you about to say? That's crazy. But now I really started our true story. I started like 6 months after 2 passings. Like my brother-in-law was shot and killed when he was 19. Jesus. And my best friend I went to high school with, James Moore, was the running back for our high school team. I went to middle school with him. We went to high school together, and then he passed away from a issue that he was dealing with. And then I had to go back to Connecticut for the funerals to attend the wakes and stuff. And I was 31 years old at the time, and I remember driving back. That's like an 11-hour drive. So I'm driving back to Charlotte like, man, I'm not going to waste another day of my life not doing something I know I'm good at. Because when tragedy hits you close at home like that, you start to rethink your life. Like, man, I'm not about to just keep clocking in at work and just being a regular citizen. I'm about to use my God-given talent and just let the chips fall where they may.
That's a damn story.
Yeah,
because I ain't want to hear no shit about slipping my car, and that was a good story.
I hate that shit.
I am sick of it. It's crazy that you said tragedy, because when I met you, you probably don't even know this. When I met you in 2017, when you were on tour with Ryan Davis, my friends like dragged me out the house that day because my dad had passed away that week. And I was just like, I had just gotten really close with him. He was real sick. I was flying back and forth to Philly to take care of him. I didn't meet him until I was 19. So by this time, I'm like almost 40. And it just like hit me so hard that he just passed away. And they was like, come on, Ryan Davis in town. We're going to go to the show. So that's how I met y'all.
Wow.
I was in such a horrible headspace when I met y'all.
Wow.
And I was just so happy. I'm like, laughter really does. It heals so much. So I was like, yo, that dude, that I think you was the host that night.
Yeah.
I said, the host is funny as shit. And then I ended up, never mind, I ain't gonna tell that part of the story.
Spare us the details, okay?
I'm gonna spare everybody the details.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other therapy session. So when did you realize you were good at it? Like you were a really good comedian?
I knew I was a good comedian when I was in the 5th grade.
Really?
Yeah, honesty. you know, growing up in the hood the way I grew up in Hartford, Connecticut, you know, my mom, shout out to my mother, she was on Section 8. We had welfare, the food stamps, the government cheese. She was raising 2 boys all by herself. And we ain't have a lot. We ain't have nothing. And one day I was sitting in class, Didi, and I was like, you know what? I probably could do whatever I want to do in here because we ain't got no house phone. I swear to God. I said, all this being good shit ain't adding up. I can't get caught. I'm invincible. You can't call my mother. I used to hear about you. I'm gonna call your mother, Trevor. I'm like, wait a minute. We ain't got no house phone. I'm about to go crazy. And I started like doing all the jokes I heard on Def Jam. I remember one of my favorite comedians when I was a kid was Gerald Kelly out of New York, man. He used to do this bit about Michael Jackson. Like he would take his songs and make parodies out of them. So I would go to school and perform them same jokes. And one day my teacher was like, Tyrone, can you please calm down? I'm trying to teach up here. I was like, Mr. Aaron, you calm down, man. Hey, can't you see I'm trying to entertain the class? What you doing? You interrupting me. What you gonna do? Call my mother? You ain't gonna do nothing. Right? You're gonna write a note. Right, I'm gonna rip that shit up. You feel me? You ain't got nothing on me. So yeah, since then, I just been going crazy. The classroom was my first stage. By the time I got to high school, I was so witty that my friends was trying to switch their classes to get into my classes because they was hearing about all the shit I was doing. I was special. And I did the morning announcements. Like,
oh my God.
Oh, I was on that loudspeaker every morning going stupid. You hear me? Who got a birthday? You better give it to me, man. It's different. I'm coming across them airways. I'm hyped. Man, I had a blast. But yeah, that's when I knew I was funny. I swear to God, in the 5th grade. All before that, I was a good student, well behaved, do what the teachers say. And then that phone thing that I knew I didn't have, I was like, bro, it's time.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So since you are so funny, and typically, you know, funny people can draw crowds. But unfortunately, last Thursday, I came to see you at Taylor's Smoke Cigar Bar, and it wasn't a big crowd, but
you was there.
I was there, and I had a great time.
Yo, you made the show.
Listen, I got harassed in such a way that night. It was insane. First of all, I had to call Fred, my engineer.
For real?
Yes, because the dude that was in there, I used to work with him. The guy that you say be in there every week. And when you said that from the stage, I'm like, oh shit, that's him.
What was his name?
Patrick.
Yep.
I'm like, no.
Yeah. I used to work together at Bank of America.
Yeah. Oh my God. And he wouldn't leave me alone. Then the painter.
Oh yeah. Oh, you was getting her. You was getting it from both sides.
I'm like, you gonna force me to buy a painting?
Wait, then there was another one.
The investor.
Look at this. He might. Threes.
Well, he bought the painting though.
Yeah, he did.
He bought the painting so he would stop harassing me. And he gave me the painting, which is cool.
Now talk about this. How did this painting come into? Because I wasn't there. What happened?
So remember when you was on stage and the painter was like, I ain't painting nothing if ain't nobody gonna buy it.
That was yo.
So I'm like, oh, okay. I said, well, I'll buy a hoodie because he has some nice hoodies.
Yeah.
Not knowing that the shit was gonna be $70. But I was like, okay, cool, I'll buy it, whatever. So he was like, should I still paint? I'm like, yeah, you paint. I'm not knowing that he thinking, should I still paint? Because are you gonna buy it?
Oh no.
I didn't know that's what he meant. So of course the comedy show goes on. Everybody, he's up there painting. I'm like, oh, that shit's fire. Y'all over there talking to me. He was like, excuse me, y'all ain't talking about nothing. I'm trying to show her this painting.
Straight up.
I was like, I didn't say I was buying the painting.
That shit was funny as hell, bro.
So the money man was like, yo, how much is the painting?
Yep.
He was like, $200. He was like, all right, I got $200. I'll buy it.
Like it ain't nothing. Yeah.
Bought the painting. He was like, you want the painting? Sure. Gave me the painting.
I remember the funniest shit that night was you. I was because I was hosting, right? So it's a comedian on stage. He was like, I came over to you. You whispered it by. You said, I'm not about to buy that fucking painting. I said, yo. What? He was like, this nigga crazy. I bought the hoodie.
Right.
You think I'm about to buy the paint? Like, yo, I wanted to see so bad what was gonna happen.
Oh man.
Had Money Man not stepped in there and said how much for because you was dead ass.
I was not buying it.
You just painted it. Good for you.
Right. You can sell it somewhere else.
But I tried to tell y'all before when I was on, I tried to I said, bro, shout out to Abstract, man. This brother is the most aggressive visual painting artist of all time. And I remember watching a live on JC the Poet. Shout out to JC the Poet, man. That's who he paint for at his shows, because his shows be a little bit more packed. I ain't gonna lie, like consistently. So he be in there doing this thing. They do a raffle. You buy a ticket, you win the raffle, all that, man. One time I was watching a live, and there had to be like 40 people at another spot for Taylor Smoke. I think it was Uptown Charlotte. And it got to the point where it was time to do the raffle. And this dude, he blanked. It may have been one raffle ticket in that bucket. And he grabbed that microphone. He said, I know ain't no goddamn way. There's only one raffle ticket in here. Y'all got me fucked up. Like he just blanked.
It's too much.
I said, bro. And I felt this pain. Like, damn, that is kind of messed up, bro. All these people in here and y'all can't put a raffle ticket together for Buddy. But ever since that, I was like, yo, this dude, he's aggressive. He don't play.
But that doesn't make you want to return and buy something, though. Like, I don't want to buy anything else. Like, I might buy this, but that's all I'm going to ever buy. That's not how you keep customers coming back. Now I feel like you're going to harass me every time I come and might be interested in buying something.
Yeah, that's
you
bad.
gotta be cognizant of who you have in the room with you.
Yeah.
Because you don't know who and who could connect you with somebody else. So
that's
I'm like, damn, if I put your hoodie on and put it on my page, it's gonna
do numbers. People gonna want to know where you get that hoodie from. That's a nice hoodie. That's a plug that you wouldn't have had.
It was too much. Then you reach out to me. I hope you're watching. Then you reach out to me talking about you want to do a photo shoot with me, as if it's gonna be free. I give you my price. Oh, now you ain't got nothing to say. You aggressive with your shit, but you ain't got nothing to say to me. Like, if you don't get out of my face.
Come on, Didi. Don't play. Pull up every Thursday.
My time is not free. Don't play with me.
You killed it that night. I ain't gonna lie. Woo, you set him straight. I'm glad he tried to reach out to you and try to, what you not gonna do? I'm somebody, sir.
Oh, this is the fee.
A photo shoot.
Can we do a little shoot? A little? I don't do nothing little.
Come on. I don't think he know who he was talking to.
Obviously not.
This podcast is amazing. This big. No. You see that? That ain't little. That thing is big.
You so stupid.
The queen of the cause, man.
So I want to talk to you because I had Ryan Davis on the show and I asked him this question. So I had to ask you the question.
Okay. That's my brother.
Are internet comedians real comedians?
Damn. I wish I would have seen what he said before I answered.
That's why I didn't tell you before you came that I asked him.
I'm gonna say yes off the rip. That's an easy question to answer. Yes, internet comedians are real comedians.
He said no.
Wow. No, he did not.
Yes, he did. He said you have to get on the stage. He said unless you get on that stage, you're not really a comedian.
Hell no. Comedian is an umbrella. And under that umbrella, there are different layers. Internet is one. Stand-up is another. There's people in this world that have comedians in their family. You ain't never heard somebody be like, my cousin Gerald, funny as hell. He the comedian in our family. It's all aspects of ways to be a comedian. So yes.
I think there's ways to be funny. I don't know if there's ways to be a comedian. To me is a profession.
Okay, now we got amateur comedians, we got professional comedians, we got internet comedians, we got your cousin at the cookout comedian, we got all types of comedians, man. I think if you can make somebody laugh, you're a comedian. Now, if you want to go up a layer and say you're an amateur, then you got to hit the stage, right? You got to turn it into something. Professional is when somebody says, yo, I got $300. Can you come do some time at my show? Now you're getting paid. You're a professional. So it's levels to it, but absolutely, you got to think of cats like, I'm gonna assume that when DC Young Fly was doing Vine videos, them 15-second videos, I'm just assuming that he wasn't a stand-up at that time. Right.
And he wasn't getting paid for it either.
But nobody can't tell me that he wasn't a comedian on Vine because the whole world was watching him roast this shit out of people on Vine.
He was funny.
Hell yeah. That makes him a comedian.
So I'll give you this one. So I'm not going to say the comedian's name.
Okay.
So there was a comedian who was pretty funny online, an internet comedian. And so I was like, oh, I want to go see him. He's going to be in Charlotte. I want to see him because he's funny.
Yeah.
Horrible.
On stage?
Yes.
Damn.
I mean, it was so bad that it was uncomfortable in the room.
Oh, that's the worst. I'm like, trying to tell comedians that.
I'm like, but because I feel like a lot of it, now there are special people, like you said, DC Young Fly, some other there are comedians who are just naturally born comedians. And no matter what they do, they're going to be a comedian where they're on the stage. It's going to translate well.
Right.
But I believe that a lot of these internet comedians are just doing skits.
Yeah.
So to put together an actual set and get on stage, like, I think that's a craft. That's something that everybody can't do.
Yeah, it's hard.
And that's what I would consider a comedian. If I could translate what I'm doing on this internet to the stage and it's seamless, I think that's a comedian. I think other people, they might be funny. I don't know if I would consider them a comedian.
I mean,
I don't know.
I understand, but I still feel like that comedian you seen that night, he might have bombed on stage, but when he get back home and get on his phone and do a video, he's a comedian in that space.
I ain't seen him since. And maybe because I don't follow him, but I don't see him anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's before, like, I would see him all the time, like, going viral.
Yeah.
I'll tell you after the show who it is. I haven't seen him. I was going out to see Amp that night, and this dude just happened to be the headliner. And I was like, Amp should have been the headliner. This was terrible.
I don't remember a lot of them internet guys, but I remember one night, I think we did an open mic, and this guy was there. He had a bunch of followers, and he was doing so bad that he told the crowd, he said, y'all don't know who I am?
See?
Y'all don't know who I am. I got this many followers on social media.
That's corny.
But he bombed bad. But I mean, stand-up is his own category, is what I'm saying. That's why I can say that an internet comedian is a real comedian, because they're a comedian in that space. You know what I'm saying?
And back in the day, we ain't have internet.
That's true.
You just had to get on the stage.
That's true indeed. But now we live in a different world. Now the world is so crazy. You ain't even got to go to college and you can make more money than a doctor. You know what I'm saying? This world is like that now. So we got to give people their props. You know what I'm saying? Instead of holding back, like, no, you gotta get on stage and prove it. Nah, man, not today.
Ryan, you heard him.
Not today. You feel me? And Ryan I'm surprised he said no, because the internet took his career where he wanted to be.
But he said he started out on stage, though.
Yeah, he definitely did. We both did together. He started like a couple months. Matter of fact, he started a month before. No, he started a couple months before I did. I think he started in August of 13, and I was June. He started in June. I started in August. But anyway, yeah, we started on stage, right? But Ryan always wanted to be a national touring headliner, like I'm talking about a 4-month-old baby in comedy. He was always saying that shit. I'm gonna be a national touring headliner, bro.
He spoke it.
When he hit 9 months, he performed a 47-minute set. I watched him do it. He was always writing and preparing and acting like a headliner. And he used to always say, if I don't make it in 5 years, I'm going to just do sketch comedy. I'm going to just do skits. Because that's what he was doing before he got on stage.
Right.
But the internet put him where he wanted to be. So for him to say that internet comedians ain't real comedians is crazy, because you took your comedy, put it on the internet, and became even bigger.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing, though. Being a comedian and using the internet as a vehicle to elevate, that's different than just being a comedian online and never being on stage.
What you think people that really don't know a lot about stand-up, like casual stand-up fans, what you think they call these people when they scroll down their timeline and they start laughing at John Doe? What you think they call John Doe? You don't think they say, oh, look, this comedian funny? That's what they call
They probably
him.
already call themselves a comedian, though.
You talking about the person that's behind
making the content.
They are.
I'm not saying that they're not a comedian. I don't think they're a real comedian, though. I don't think you should be able, like, I don't want anybody coming to my job that ain't been in my career field doing the actual labor and work that I've done just because they're on the internet. Like, I took the certification, but I ain't never touched a server before.
I feel that.
I ain't never did it. Like, I actually have to apply what I've done.
I feel that.
I could sit behind a script. I have people, it took me a long time to figure out my next show next week. Married women. Couldn't find none. They could do this shit all day online.
Yep.
When it's time to come in here and talk face to face in front of this camera, everybody can't do that.
Yep.
It's not the same thing.
Yeah,
it's just not the same thing.
Yeah, I just think it's levels to it.
It's really easy to do something on your phone.
No, it ain't. Because if it was, I'd be doing it.
You do it every day on your phone.
Yeah, but I ain't got 300,000 followers by doing it.
You can put money behind something to get 300,000 followers. That don't mean
that's true.
That don't mean that you're good at it. You just pay money to promote your shit.
Yeah, but I just got tremendous respect for internet comedians, and I'm gonna call them real because I can't do what they do. And if they've never done what I did, then they can't do what I do, but they respect stand-up though. You know what I'm saying?
I respect anybody that's grinding.
Yeah.
I just don't think everybody should have the same title based off of the grind that they put in.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Or because we talk about like this generation where all they do is be on their phone. They don't even know how to have a conversation with people. Yep. Right. Because like they literally can just do everything on their phone. Yep. You got these internet thugs. You got all these people in the comments. They can say whatever. If they were standing in front of you, they would not say this shit at all.
That's a fact.
It is easy to do something behind a phone than it is to go in front of a crowd of people and actually have to stand in front of people face to face and do something.
That shit takes.
I just don't think it's the same thing. But shout out to everybody grinding and doing it the best way they know how.
Yeah.
But I agree with Ryan.
Internet. Oh, well, I thought I had a good point, but hey, to each his own. You know what I'm saying?
So, what did you think about the Jamie Foxx stand-up? What had happened?
I ain't gonna lie. My initial reaction, and I told my wife this. I started watching it by accident. I heard her cut it on. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to come downstairs and be nosy and shit. I'm like, let me hear, because I see it's already on social media, heavy people talking about it. So I came downstairs to check it out. I think like 10 minutes in, I'm like, yo, this shit just sad. It just struck me as being sad as hell, because the first opening bits was just so sad. And I remember telling my wife that, like, yo, this shit's sad. But she didn't agree. She was like, what's sad about it? I was like, nigga, you got tears in your eyes. This shit is sad. Jamie up there about to cry. This shit's sad. I swear to God, at one point, I was about to go back upstairs. I was like, bro, I'm not about to watch this man talk about how he almost died for an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like, is he doing stand-up, or is he going through it? Like, what's going on? But I was about to walk away, but I kept listening. And then I was like, okay, here come the Jamie Foxx that we all know and love. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But I think the reaction was overblown. Like, oh, this is the greatest comedy special I've ever seen in my entire existence of life. Like, if you ever seen a Jamie Foxx special, it was a Jamie Foxx special. What are you going to do? Impersonations. Mm-hmm. He going to sing. He going to get behind that piano. He going to be funny. The only difference was he added in the fact that he had a stroke. He almost died, and he had to go to rehab. He was rehabbing off of it.
I thought it was masterful. I thought the way that it was produced, because I look at things from a producer standpoint. The way they produced the special was they produced it. I thought was amazing.
Oh yeah, the snap of the fingers and all that. Yeah.
Even outside of that, just I'm not a stand-up comedian. Right. I can act, I can read a script, and I can do that. Yeah. But a stand-up comedian to put together what he put together and the way he put it together, being emotional, laughing, singing, having his kids come out. I thought the whole production was amazing. I thought what he did was something I've never seen before. I've seen Jamie Foxx stand-ups before. It was nothing like that. And maybe because I'm an empath, extreme empath, I was like, for somebody to go, because I have a friend who went through, and she probably watching, she'll shout out to, you know who I'm talking about. She had a similar near-death experience. And to watch somebody be able to walk out on the stage and talk about almost dying is extremely, extremely masterful to me. Like, he couldn't walk. He couldn't talk. He couldn't do anything. And to be able to go out and do what you do for a living again, and when you didn't think he was ever going to be able to do it again, I thought the way he executed it was flawless. I loved it. I don't know, maybe because I'm a girl. I don't know. I'm emotional, but I thought it was awesome. And I think one thing about social media is that people have become so desensitized with everything. Everything. It's social media is just an extreme place. It's either one end of the spectrum or the other. Yep. And people just don't appreciate shit anymore. If you produce, because we get things given to us so much. It's so much information, so much content, so much that nothing's ever good enough. When something with that I feel like was put together in an amazing way, I thought it was top tier. And I ain't easy to impress at all. I'm very critical. I'm Simon Cowell in this bitch. Damn. You got to really come with it for me. And I thought it was outstanding. Damn. But that's just my opinion.
So how did you feel about any of his other specials? Were they all outstanding? Or
they were okay. They were good. I thought they were good. I think he's just a really talented person, though.
Yeah, he is super talented.
Yeah, he's super talented. You're always going to get like the church feel. You're going to get the club feel. You're going to get the laughs. This time he threw in the crying and the praying in God. So it was a little, when you have somebody that's that extremely talented on so many different facets, it's hard to put all of that in a container and make it go like he did. I thought he did great. Like,
yeah, I love all his specials. You know what I'm saying? When he get to singing and the songs be funny, I love it all. But I think it was, I ain't gonna say a little. I mean, I'm gonna say that I think it was a little overblown because he was vulnerable and talked about what he went through. I think people seen that and was like, "Oh, this is." But I swear to God, everything outside of him talking about his stroke and his rehabilitation and almost dying, if you take all that out and just listen to what he did comedy wise, it's like the same shit he'd been doing for years. It ain't nothing different. He just was vulnerable, and I appreciated that. I thought I could say it was different. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna say it was special and amazing, but I will say it was different, and I really appreciated him being vulnerable. But then it's like I got this asshole in me that's like, nigga, that's an easy way to get a check. What had happened was,
but
nigga, tell us.
Do you see how?
Tell us what happened, Jay, because we want to know.
Do you see how desensitized we are?
You see how he got a check off of people on the internet trying to troll him?
No, first of all, he should have got a check. They killed him. They said it was a clone. They said, he should have got a check. Why wouldn't you capitalize on your life when you're a brand? That's what you do.
Yeah, that was fire. That was good.
But I don't understand like how it's just. I guess it's just the time we live in is crazy to me. Like, somebody almost died and y'all like, oh, it was all right. I mean, take that shit out. He almost fucking died. God damn.
Man, niggas almost die every day. B.
What else do you want? Like,
right.
But
what are we talking
I hope that I wish they could get a check too.
Yeah, we all should get a check for almost dying.
I don't know. Black people, me and Fred were just talking about this shit. We was just talking about this. Black people, man, child, listen. We can't help it.
Yo, shout out to Jamie.
We really can't help it. It's sad. But do you think that comedians should have? Well, I don't know if you saw this before I asked you this question.
Yeah.
The backlash that the white dude is getting, and what's his name? Andrew Schultz, I think. His name? Yeah, Schultz. Okay. Do you believe that comedians should have free range to just say whatever they want to say, no matter who they offend?
Hell yeah. 100%. I swear to God, when I was a kid growing up, I thought that's what all comedy was. I used to watch comedians and not think like George Carlin and all them guys. I didn't think they were extremely funny, but I appreciated the art of them trying to hurt somebody's feelings. Like I can remember George Carlin always talking about the government and politicians and presidents. And I'm like, bro, he coming at everybody, like people that you're not supposed to talk about. He talked about them. You know what I'm saying? I've always thought that's how comedy was supposed to be. You're supposed to talk about the people that don't get talked about. Like if you're not supposed to go through that door in comedy, you go through that door and you make it hilarious. You know what I'm saying? It's a freedom of speech thing, but I understand now as a grown man living in this different world that you can have freedom of speech, but that does not mean that you are free of consequences. That's the difference now versus back in the 90s when I grew up, man. Comedy was hilarious because you could look forward to watching In Living Color and them doing a Donald Trump skit or, Miss Harris that didn't get elected. Like they would make fun of all of that shit. Even the Jamie Foxx special, they would be on In Living Color making fun of that. Like everything was up for grabs. Now it's like, and I didn't see what Andrew did. I don't know what he did or what he said, but he one of them types that will step all over the motherfucking line. Forget about putting your toes on the line or coming up to it. He'll step right on it, man, and just deal with it. But now it's like whatever backlash he got to understand like, yo, this is a different time. So you got to censor yourself, which is crazy. You shouldn't have to, but we just live in a different time, man. But what did he do? Do you know what he did?
If I can remember correctly, he was responding to Kendrick Lamar's lyric, not that he named anybody, but when he said, you don't let a white comedian talk down to black women or talk about black women. And he was on the show with, I think, a black guy, a white guy, and an Indian guy, maybe something like that. Okay,
their little podcast.
And they were talking about that, and Andrew Schultz pretty much doubled down and talking about black women in a pretty disgusting way. And they were all laughing and joking. And then I think Charlemagne came on maybe the next day or something like that. And he said the same thing, that comedians should be able to say whatever they want to say. And yeah, people was dragging Andrew Schultz in the comments about mainly they were dragging the black dude that was on the show, laughing while he was sitting there talking about black women.
Oh wow, okay. Yeah, comedy is getting weird now. Like it's not okay. I don't care what skin yo man. I came up in comedy knowing this, man, especially for white comics. If you're gonna say something racist about black people, it better be funny. Because if it ain't funny, then you're gonna have to deal with the backlash. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy to me how, and shout out to Sexy Red, or whoever the female rappers are, you know, my pussy pink, my doodle hole brown. It's okay for them to say that disgusting shit. But somebody can't speak their mind and think it's funny or whatever is just crazy. Now
I don't think it's okay for them to say that either. I just think it's the agenda that's being pushed, and people are pushing back on that too. But I mean, it's a difference when you're talking about yourself and degrading yourself than when you degrading the whole demographic of people.
I mean, the music has always been potent. You know what I mean? I am who I am today. I dress the way I dress. I talk the way I talk because of hip hop, because of gangster rap, because I grew up on that stuff. So music is very powerful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I don't think those two things. I don't think that those two things are the same. When you're talking about somebody, I think it's all bad. Yeah, let's just say that. I think it's all bad. Yeah. But I don't think what's wrong. All right, we're gonna take a break, y'all. Hold on one second. We'll be right back.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, D, what exactly are you looking for?
Well, I've always been drawn to strong men who know what they want and aren't afraid to take control, but also aren't afraid of a woman's strength and accepts her for who she truly is.
I like that. But do you think that you can handle a man on return?
Let's get through the first date first.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Are you a content creator looking for a space to create and elevate your brand? Well, look no further. The Core Queen Podcast Studios is now open. Core Queen Podcast Studios offers spaces for content creators to record or to live stream their podcast. Whether you're an aspiring creator or you're a seasoned vet, the Core Queen Podcast Studios is here for all your content creator needs. Visit CoreQueenPodcastStudio.com for more info. That's CoreQueenPodcastStudio.com today. Are you a content creator looking for a space to create and elevate your brand? Well, look no further. The Core Queen Podcast Studios is now open. Core Queen Podcast Studios offers spaces for content creators to record or to live stream their podcast. Whether you're an aspiring creator or you're a seasoned vet, the Core Queen Podcast Studios is here for all your content creator needs. Visit CoreQueenPodcastStudio.com for more info. That's CoreQueenPodcastStudio.com today. Are you a content creator looking for a space to create and elevate your brand? Well, look no further. The Core Queen Podcast Studios is now open. Core Queen Podcast Studios offers spaces for content creators to record or to live stream their podcast. Whether you're an aspiring creator or you're a seasoned vet, the Core Queen Podcast Studios is here for all your content creator needs. Visit CoreQueenPodcastStudio.com for more info. That's CoreQueenPodcastStudio.com today.
Tell me, D, what exactly are you looking for?
I've always been drawn to strong men who know what they want and aren't afraid to take control, but also aren't afraid of a woman's strength and accepts her for who she truly is.
I like that. But do you think that you can handle a man on one turn?
Let's get through the first date first.
Okay, that's fair enough.